made it hard for me to see. Good things come to you. Pain has a remedy. What happened to the real me was a faulty start. This time I'm gonna get it right. Put the horse before the cart. It feels like I'm on the verge, right on the edge of believing again. Ready to trust like I never did. Just like Noah stepping off the ark. I believe I'm on the verge of a hopeful heart. Hi, folks. I don't know if you can hear me. I see that there are 6 of you watching, and I don't know that my video is uh, that I'm in the stream with the video right now, but I can certainly talk to you. And my good friend Lynn Mixon will try to help us figure that out. This is a first that I've been invisible. Anybody want to comment on that? I can also quickly become to you from another computer just in that quick moment and see if that'll help. I don't know why appearing. Can't hear or see me, Denise said. Okay. So let me into the broadcast studio on my laptop here. And hopefully you guys can hear that. Still not having me. Audio, but no video. Ha. Okay, this is a live stream issue because I'm on a second computer now. Sorry, folks. Yeah, this is the Halloween version. Boo is so right. Boo hoo. Not getting my video on live stream. It's possible. I don't know what's going on. I really don't even. Oh, I think I just appeared. Am I here? Okay, on my laptop, it's working. So here's the question: are you guys hearing me? Also, hearing me? I'm going to remove. That is me. I have 2 me's on the computer right now, and I'm not sure which one you're seeing. Okay, you're seeing the one from my iMac. Can you hear me? Can y'all hear me now? Hillary, can you hear and see me? Because, vision is good too. There you are. Okay, so hopefully my lips are moving somewhat similar to what I'm saying. Not a big deal if not. Welcome to the 4th and final episode of the October Swamp Sistas month of Sundays inside the Creative Mind. I'm Beth McKee, and each week, I'm not using that microphone anyway. We've streamed live performances from a featured guest and explored our creative personalities using Meta Wagner's book, What's Your Creative Type? It's kind of been a starting point. The Swamp Sistas Lala Foundation has presented this stream as part of our mission to support women in the arts and foster creativity in our community at large. So we hope that we're fostering your creativity and we'll encourage you to do something creative later today. We're grateful to our sponsors, Park Ave CDs and New Electric LLC. And we're also grateful to United Arts of Central Florida and Orange County government. If you'd like to support our efforts too with a tax-deductible gift, you can use the donation button on the Swamp Sistas Facebook page or follow one of the links in this video description. We're so very glad you're here, and we appreciate your support. So, yeah, thank you. The Swamp Sistas, for those that don't know, is a 501c3 organization, excuse me, with the bifold purpose of community service and supporting women in the arts. We host events to raise money for common causes or community causes. We volunteer at our local food bank, Second Harvest Food Bank of Central Florida. We raise money for them every year with our annual Swamp Sistas La La event. Here's hoping that by next year we'll be able to have a La La in person again. And we perform together at various events, doing whatever it is we love to do. In this last picture, you can see we're doing a Mardi Gras show at Will's Pub. That was some of the last activity we had out in public before the pandemic hit. But, you know, we're flexing over here. We try to keep the lines of communication open. And I'm very excited today because my final guest for this series is somebody I've been wanting to connect with in this way for a long time. She's a vocalist, bassist, keyboardist, and synth player for The Pauses, which is a self-described beat boop rock band from Mickeytown, USA. The Pauses are one of Orlando's most beloved indie rock bands, and they have a very solid following beyond our little area code, too. So not only is she a nationally touring recording artist who has performed at high-profile events and appeared with legendary acts, she's well known and respected as a music promoter and organizer right here in Central Florida, too, and has on occasion written for our local indie newspaper, the Orlando Weekly. I found some columns that she had written. She absolutely knows how to put a show together, and we're so very glad to have her with us today as I welcome to the screen Tierney Tuff. Hey, Tierney, thanks for being with us today.
Hi, Beth. How are you?
I'm good. We'll just come right up in front and tell all our friends that are watching that we've been kind of enjoying some technical challenges since the very first log on this morning. So it has been decided that Trick or Treat is being played on us by the universe and that the whole Milky Way is in retrograde. But I think we've got it up and running now, so I feel pretty good. Are you good on your end?
I did all my technical difficulties on purpose. So.
Brilliant. Why didn't I think of that?
No, that's just the way it works for me, I think.
No,
we're here now. I think that's what matters. And yeah, I don't think it would be like, I think this is what's supposed to happen. This is how it goes.
As my Cuban mother-in-law used to say, or would say, it is the destiny.
Yeah, it is.
It's the destiny.
It's rock and roll, you know. I can't I can't think of one show where there wasn't even a tiny issue, you know. So nothing could be perfect.
No, that would be so boring and dull. It would be. Yeah. Well, thank you for bringing in some wonderful Halloween vibe with your decor.
This was done in 5 minutes because I changed rooms because of all the challenges. So I think I did pretty good. I got a little puppy sleeping in the back. And,
you do have a puppy sleeping in the back. I probably have one sleeping somewhere too. Usually. Aw. Nothing like a photobombing dog, huh? I have one too.
She loves the attention for sure.
Yeah. She must be an A-lister.
I think so. Yeah.
So I'm excited to have you do a song for us. Will you kick things off? And we're already getting a request to raise your audio level. So
all right. How about that? Is that better?
I think that's great. Yes, thanks.
Check. Hey.
Might be a little hot.
A little hot. Check. Hey. Good?
I think it's good. If you have to wail on a note, you can just throw your head back. Tom says that's perfect.
I don't know if I was doing any wailing. But
okay.
So this is one of the technical problems. This is supposed to have some drums to it, some electronic beats I made, and it doesn't anymore, which is fine because the point of the show is to talk about how things were made. So this was made with just this piano right here. Force pen to page, that's how I gauge this love of mine. And when I was young, life wasn't summed up by some big plan. But now I know that I showed it all to you. And now I know that I gave it all to you. So don't be in love without a net, or be sure to forget this love of mine will take its time with you. And this love of mine will take its time with you.
Aha, that's beautiful. This love of mine will take its time. That's a great, you know what? Look, I'm serious right now. Chill bumps on my arm.
That makes me feel so good because I mean, I guess I have to explain this backstory of this song. This is how bad I am with solo material or material in general. This song I wrote probably in the beginning of my piano introduction to a piano. So probably 12, 13 years ago. And it's transformed so many times. Lyrically, it's changed. It was a song I wrote after my first serious relationship was done. And it's just something I play all the time. And I never really did anything with. It never felt like a band song. And I don't know. And it really boils down to just a lack of confidence, which I'm sure you and I have talked about before with me. It's like, I don't know, but I'm glad that I waited because playing it now, it felt like there was like a new life for it that made more sense to me than it did in the past. So all that time for it to like gestate and like, kind of loosely swirl around in the background was okay, and I'm okay with that. So I don't I try not to be too hard on myself about timing and things like that, but it is an old song, and I did recently actually record it. So
Oh, wonderful.
yeah, so it's weird.
Well,
It's weird how that works.
it is where I think maybe it might be your personal, like your familiar. Like if you had a familiar that was a song, like they have an animal that, or the temple of my familiar, that kind of in that kind of spiritual, maybe that song is kind of your familiar. It's kind of like your little friend that stays
Yeah.
with you. And
yeah, and I think content wise, too, maybe it wasn't ready to go out as it was intended, and maybe it was made to be something else.
Because it's like a soul bearing song. So it's like your soul has changed and grown
Yeah.
or evolved, and so the song has come along with it. Well, it's quite beautiful, and I
Oh,
love
thanks.
the I like the sparse presentation
All
that
right.
we just got. I'm excited to hear how you recorded it. So you've been recording some songs during the
Yeah,
pandemic, some solo stuff.
loosely. Any solo stuff I'm doing, it's like I was asked to do it, or like the recording. Someone I played it at my last live stream, and someone asked if they could record it. It was a good friend of mine, and I said, "Why not? Let's try it." And we recorded it. But there's no there's no real emphasis on solo stuff right now. I think. I mean, for me, it's kind of like if I'm doing it, it's a confidence builder. My main priority is the band. I love my band. I love my songwriting partner Jason. We're we've been together for, I think we realized it's been like 17 years or something like
Oh my
that.
gosh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were in a band previous to this band where I was just the bass player and he was a guitar player, and um, that band broke up, and then we decided to. I'd started learning to write songs on my own, and we were just sending stuff back and forth, and realized we had this like great chemistry, and so that's really my main priority is that it's so special to me, and we've been writing this whole pandemic.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah,
So lots of more pauses. So let's talk about the pauses for a
sure.
second. I think your most recent full release was the Unbuilding. Is that right?
Yeah, that came out 2 years ago, I think.
Oh, what a fabulous project. I jumped on the
Thanks.
Kickstarter for that, and it's just, oh, the whole
Yes.
album is beautiful. The promotion for it was beautiful. Everything that you did around that whole campaign, I was just blown away by. And
Thank
it's a
you.
fabulous record. So we want to encourage folks. They could probably find that on Bandcamp, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. The pauses on Bandcamp. And okay, and I looked everywhere for like a the pauses or a tyranny kind of bio
I
or
don't even
self
really
description.
have one.
No, you're like, not doing that. That's what everybody does. The
Well,
old bio thing. We're a beep boop rock band
well,
from
here's the
Mickey
thing,
Down.
like we would have to write it about ourselves,
Tell me about it.
and I how uncomfortable I feel about labeling myself and ourselves, it's like I don't want to write that. Someone else can write it.
I,
I
I'm
here I encourage everyone that's watching to write us a bio.
there you go. And while you're at it, write me a bio too, because it is. It's a very
It's weird.
it's an odd process for all artists, and in something that we struggle with, and the labeling too. Even though we've kind of made this whole little series sort of what would seem like a label game, it's really not. What we're really trying to dig into with. This series, calling it, Inside the Creative Mind, and using Meta Wagner's book, What's Your Creative Type, is what motivates people as artists or creatively. And there are different types, generally, of personalities. There's the A-lister that loves the spotlight. What I think maybe is even more important is relying on that relationship between artist and audience. I think the A-lister relies heavily on that, and for validation, for applause, feedback, and communication, two-way communication. There's also the artisan, which is the kind of artist that's happy to be in the background, more focused on just the doing of the work. Often gets lost in the work and forgets the world outside. The game changer, which according to the little quiz is where I fall on the label list, which is the rebel of the art world. And I don't know that I'm so rebellious, but I am also always looking for new ways to express myself and try to reinvent my creative process from the inside out. So maybe that does fit. Sensitive soul is a very what seems to have become a common trait for um, women that I've invited to be in this series, the majority have found that to be their designation. And sensitive soul has the desire to express their emotions creatively, and hopefully with having the outcome that will help others process their emotions. The final type on this list is the activist, who is seeing wrongs that need uprighting, or righting. I'm thinking of Joan Baez right now. She changing the world through creativity, through the lyrics. Patti Smith, I think, is an activist. I think she's also a game. She's everything. Forget it. She's just all of the above, because she's such a power artist. But so those have been the kind of jump off points that we've been using for our discussion. But what I would, again, the main goal being, what motivates you? What gets you in the creative mood, and what helps spark creative activity on your side? So I present that question to you, Tierney. What sparks your well, I thought Beetlejuice back there could give us a little.
Hey, Arrow. There she is.
Yeah.
She's sleepy. Man, yeah. Well, I have to say, first off, I've been thinking about this a lot, actually. The juxtaposition of having like all of this free time to be creative right now, mixed with a really heavy heart, makes it really hard to be creative. I think I've been kind of struggling with that a lot lately. When this year started off, this year was a doozy before it became a doozy for me, for everyone.
Yeah.
It was a whirlwind, and I will say, like, without wishing any bad things upon anybody, the lockdown actually worked really well for me. I went straight into project mode. I was changing my perspective on things. I had a clean, narrow, minimal focus, and that was so needed as someone, I think, who is just constantly hustling, and like being pulled in so many different directions. It was really nice for me. So I think now that like delusional phase of like, all right, this will be done, we'll be back to like some semblance of normalcy soon. That has completely faded, and I am just like, and maybe it's to do with the election coming up, and I'm sure a lot of people feel this way. It's just like the confusion and the anger and the frustration, and like just knowing things could be better and they're not, and it's really hard to distract yourself with your distraction from those things.
Absolutely.
So it's been difficult. I'm sure a lot of people can say that right now, but I think a lot for me. I need a lot of incubation time. I'm not coming up to the piano every day. I'm not thinking about writing down lyrics or ideas for a song. I let them come to me, and then when they do, I just let it happen, because I want it to still be exciting and like feel new and like be surprised by stuff. um so and maybe I could practice more or whatever, but I don't. But I like a lot of I need a lot of thinking absorption time. And I think what helps me a lot too is like walking around. We do dog walks every day. I love this neighborhood. I love looking at houses and looking at like how someone lives. I think architecture is a big role in my visual world, and the last album kind of had some architectural themes. There was a song about my favorite designers in the world, Charles and Ray Eames, and their love story. So I think that's always played a big role. A lot of visual design elements. I think I kind of pull from. So just a natural world.
That's a nice. It's funny that you said that, because I had I had made note of the visual aspect of your creative expression when I was thinking about how we would talk, what we would talk about today. I said, you have a great visual concept for your shows. There, you have a very thematic approach to putting events together and putting projects together, and concept driven. And so I think of you more in a 3D kind of.
That's great because I've always just like wanted to be a cartoon myself. I'm not
Cartoons are cool. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, that was. I really had even written that down. I said like, oh, let's talk about visual aspects, thematic and concept driven performance, and then you even just self-described yourself, as being motivated that way visually. I'm motivated visually too. Like visual things turn me on. But I think it's great that as far as your process, and it's especially in these times, I will say that I think, just being okay is a huge success story. So I tell myself, if I'm feeling not terribly productive, like, hey, I'm just being okay today. Okay. I'm just working. Today is be okay day. And I'm not going to, push myself to do anything more than be okay. And I'm, able to get away with that sometimes. So,
Absolutely.
it is helpful. I'm wondering if we can get you to sing another song for us.
Sure. I'm reading the comments too. Someone said, "Become one with your instrument," and I feel like I think I did when I first started playing piano. I did become one with it, and then I think as you grow old with your significant other, you distance a little bit, and it's okay. You know it's still there, and it helps you when it needs to be. So I don't know. This is something because I listen to a lot of podcasts about writing and things like that, and a lot of people say they just show up for work and they just start writing and they just do it, and it's like I can't feel bad about that. I just don't.
I don't.
But I think that's a good process to have if it helps you.
But if you have the receiver on, it seems like you keep your receiver on.
Oh, yeah.
So when something comes bolting through.
I always say my phone is like my most embarrassing thing. Like if it ever got stolen,
I know.
That's where the notes are,
And voice memos.
Yes. So
voice memos galore of me walking.
Yeah. Or in the bathroom, whatever works for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't believe in for myself to force it. I think I just don't operate that way, and it's taken me a long time to overcome that and not be hard on myself about that. So I'm just slower, and that's okay, and I think it produces better work. So it just depends on the person, really.
Wait for the divine inspiration.
Yeah.
So share some products of your divine inspiration with us now.
So here's something that came subconsciously. I have always I can't even for the longest time have had this Mr. Rogers song stuck in my head. And I think it's called Days of the Week. I probably had it on vinyl. But it's really just him singing the days of the week, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, every day. Those are the days of the week. This is what you can do within a week. It's like, and without thinking about it, I kind of wrote like the antithesis of that song because it was like I was struggling with writer's block, and I didn't really think about it, but I kind of wrote the opposite of that song.
I'm glad to hear that you worked from Mr. Rogers, though. I of course, we all feel like he's a little bit ours, just like people from Mississippi think that we feel like Elvis is ours. Because
yeah, totally. But any celebrity or anybody especially that has a good heart, you
especially or was extraordinarily famous. But I've even just recently co-written a song about Mr. Rogers
Aw.
my friend Jim Myers, who we have like a little side collaborative partnership called the Ernest, and yeah, we have a little song called Mr. Rogers that goes all the way through having if Mr. Rogers met all these different characters through history, how he would react or what he would say.
Right.
And so, but anyway, so you wrote the antithesis to all the things that you would do on all. I'll
All the
just
things
let
that
you.
well, it's the opposite of what you can do.
Okay, I can't wait to hear it.
I will say, Mr. Rogers has one of my favorite album covers of all time. It's an album called "You Are Special," and there's a mirror on the front.
Oh, that is nice.
And it's the best.
Oh, now look, now Tom Caffrey said his wife still sings the days of the week with his daughter.
Well, I don't know if she'll like this one, but blame it on a Monday, blame it on the rain. Tuesday's feeling better, my absolutist brain. Tried to work on Wednesday, and Thursday was the same. Friday's in the gutter, my absolutist brain. Headed for the weekend, headed for the weekend. I'm headed for the weekend. Here we go again.
Nice.
And there's a little Mr. Rogers quote on the end of that, but I could have played it, but my computer is messed up.
Oh, did it? I didn't. Wait, boy, I would have never known. You smoothed
Oh
it right.
no, I didn't because because of the technical difficulties, but it's a quote from the song, and it's like just a sweet, just to make it wrap up, on a positive note.
And what is the quote?
Oh, just like there's so many good things you can do in the world, and so many just things like he would say.
Yeah. Well, Fred Rogers, bless his soul. He was such a positive soul and sweet and caring person, and it is interesting. Oh, Denise loved it, of course. She loves you.
Denise.
And the days of the week, Jim and I just also wrote a song about kind of days of the week too. So I guess you and I are kind of on a parallel plane here. It's called Sunday After Monday. Like, I mean, no, I have the Monday After Sunday. Like,
you got to learn the days of the week.
Yeah, I need to go listen to Mr. Rogers' record and hold the cover up. So I want to give I think that the first time I ever knew you and became aware of you had to be 10 years ago, and you must have just been in high school, but you were working at Park Ave CDs, and I know you've worked there on and off, throughout. And I will say that my experience with the record store employees from my hometown and that I have known through life is that y'all are absolutely the coolest people there are. Because you have all this stuff coming by you all the time, all the new things, everything that everybody sings, like it all happens at the record store first. You all hear about it at the record store first. What was it like for you practically growing up? I mean, you must have taken a job there pretty young.
Well, yeah, so I've been there for 10 years. But it's actually my third record store.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I started So I just turned 38.
Oh,
So
well, happy birthday.
not as young. Thank you.
Well, you it looked like a stone cold 29 to me.
It's just a filter. I got the
You still have the
29-year-old filter.
20s filter?
Yeah.
The millennial filter?
Yeah.
You're not even a millennial, are you? Or do you
No.
qualify?
I mean, I guess so. I mean, I'm like right on the
Cusp.
cusp of that, but I don't
More
think
labels.
I don't know anybody that would want to be that.
Labels. But
Yeah. Yeah, so I got my first job. It was called CD Warehouse when I was 18, right out of high school. I was so stoked because I was just like, just anything that's not food or like whatever, but something that's like in your specialty, like because I was in band, concert band, jazz band, all that. I was into music all throughout high school and all schooling actually from kindergarten on, a little bit of college, and I'd started playing rock band music, like midway high school, I guess. So to actually be there, like touching physical things and seeing like I love seeing all the promotional posters we would get and like huge David Bowie posters, like
oh wow, yeah.
just stuff like that you like. It's like this is crazy, and this place is just down the street from my house. Like it's a special, magical thing, and a lot of people don't get to experience that. And I'd actually like. So I worked there, and then I worked at another. Oh no, sorry. The first place was called Sonic Boom. I messed up. Second place was CD Warehouse.
Oh, okay.
Third place was Park Ave, and I think Sandy actually. I applied there originally a long time ago, and I didn't get the job. And then like years later, I started the festival, Orange You Glad Fest, and I was doing it all by myself and running around and hopping from venue to venue and checking in and settling and making sure things were running on time. And we did a stage at Park Ave, and I think Sandy was maybe, I don't know, maybe he was just like impressed with me or something, because he actually saw me out. He came to Will's during the fest and asked me if I wanted the job, and I was like, "Are you serious? Like I applied 10 years ago." Too late, bro. No. And I was so excited because that was the one I wanted to work at. So
yeah, it's a fabulous store, that's for sure. And we're so grateful to them as our sponsors on many occasions, and especially for this month of Sundays, for helping us put these shows together. Another one of our sponsors is New Electric LLC, for full service electrical company, and our good friends Frank and Janet Somos. Whether it's in industrial, residential, commercial, or technology, Frank and Janet are committed to provide quality, value-driven, personal, innovative service. And you know what? They're friends of the Swamp Sistas too. They help us out with all the Lalas, just like Park Ave CDs does. So we would love for you to give them a call or visit newelectricllc.com if you need some electrical services, especially if you're in the Winter Haven area, because that's where they're located. We're so grateful to Park Ave CDs, really. And but Sandy and Denise and Steve and everybody have always been supportive of the Swamp Sistas and what we're trying to do. Whether it's raising money for the food bank or featuring female talent like today. So thank you guys for being there for us, and also for being a cultural hub for Orlando. What a great purveyor of culture they have been all these years, and we're very, very grateful for them. So we talked about the pauses a little bit. How long have the pauses been a unit?
I think we celebrated on our own last year. 10 years, I think, is what we said. Yeah.
10 years. That's a commitment. So it would
be 11 years this year. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I think you guys are great. I love what you do. I love the sounds and the visual and combinations of themes that all come through. As a matter of fact, we asked if it'd be okay with you if we played a pauses video, and you said
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. This one I'm excited about. So we did an audio tree session
That is so
um
cool.
in Chicago when we were on tour, and it's so dreamy. Like no technical problems whatsoever. Like, but they're like they've got a huge crew, you know, it's like 20 people and they're all like super wizards with everything, and it's nerve-wracking, but we it was special because I there's a band called Dianoga that I've been a huge fan of, and Jay Ryan, the bass player and singer in the band, is also an illustrator who goes under the name The Bird Machine, and he's done so many concert posters and things
Oh,
throughout
cool.
the year. So we just asked him if he would come and play with us, and so he sits in on this song, and it was kind of crazy because he was supposed to be there earlier to rehearse because we never played with him before and we didn't know what he was going to play. But he got there right before we went on, and it just happened. And they gave him some random bass because I guess he didn't bring one. And it was like it was crazy, but it worked out. And I was hearing what he wrote for the first time while we were playing, and it was like I was trying not to be too excited and nervous and scared, and not also focus too much on what he was doing because he's one of my favorite bass players. But I was so like inside, I was just like kind of mildly freaking out because he added this really cool, it's like almost metally sounding bass part to this ballad, you know. So that was really special for us to have him do that.
Oh, cool. Well, I'll be paying extra attention to that part this time. Let's roll that pauses footage. Ah, that is beautiful.
He was playing like some drop D, and I was like, yes,
It
let's make
was,
this heavy.
but it was also beautiful at the same time,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and melancholy. Like he would just lay those notes in that were like kind of angsty, you know. So,
Yeah.
but
I'm all about that.
well, it's a beautiful video. I really enjoyed it, and
Thanks.
your vocals sound incredible. I
Thanks.
I was like, wow, what mic is she? And it's like a 58. You're singing through a 58, but
Tried and true.
it's hard to go wrong, right?
Yeah.
Right? Sure. Let's get our
Sure.
Sure endorsement. So,
Sure.
yes,
Yes.
that was beautiful, Tyranny.
Thank you.
So I have a question for you.
Okay.
When you guys, when you're collaborating and putting a song together, how do you do that? I mean, do you like start with lyrics, or do you just, or is it, or you start with a jam, or do you start both together? Is it real thought out, like, oh, here's a theme, we're going to follow this thing, you know? I'm giving you all the examples, but
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say that it's like one certain way each time, but typically it'll start out by either Jason or I coming up with an idea. And we are both very isolated writers, so we will a lot of times just send things back and forth via email, you know.
mhm.
So a lot of times we won't even talk about it, you know. It's like it's so funny because I haven't seen him since probably March, you know. I probably
Wow.
won't see him for a long time. But we have taken to basically pen paling our ideas back and forth. So we send each other these really long, you know, emails with work and with like what's going on. So it's kind of exciting, I guess, to, you know, something to look forward to, and a different way of treating it. But yeah, a lot of times it'll just be like, you know, I'll have a piano riff idea, and we try to get it to a point where it's presentable. You know, I at least like, if I'm writing, I like to have a vocal lyrical idea down, you know, because I don't love just sending something that's like, I think both of us, we both like to have like a loose concept, and even a concept is hard to call it because it's not always a conceptual piece, but at least a loose idea of what the overall might be. And
Mhm.
then I think we trust each other just to add to it. And like, that's what's so great about our working relationship is that I can send something and, you know, rid myself of most expectations. And then he can write and flesh this thing out and make it something I didn't think it could be, and make it even better. So I think we have this great, you know,
Sounds very
relationship.
symbiotic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jim and I do that a lot too. It's like I will. So, he's so fast. He's so rapid fire though. Like the Mister
Yeah.
Rogers song, I said, Jim, we need to write a song about Mister Rogers. Like I texted him that, and like 3 hours later, he texts me back. Whew, three
Cool.
verses. You know.
Yeah, that's crazy. I can't do that. I need
Yeah.
like 3
Me,
months.
me either. Me too. And they're all clever and so perfectly right in the
Yeah.
theme. And then I'll go run and start, you know, putting it to music and
Yeah.
experiment. So yeah, and it is. I kind of think of it as Immaculate Corpse. Remember that game?
No,
Did you ever?
that sounds intense.
It sounds like you've done it. Immaculate Corpse is a like a parlor game where
Okay.
it's done with a drawing, and basically you take a piece of paper and start a drawing of a corpse or human body, you know, and then the first person that draws on the, like, and you fold the paper, like, say if you got 6 people, you're going to fold the piece of paper in 6 folds like an accordion, right? So the first person draws whatever they're like, maybe the head, and they only carry over the fold just enough 2 lines to go to the next fold, and then that fold is hidden from the next person who takes those 2 lines, and then they draw more of what they think the corpse would look like. Again, just leaving a couple of little lines to extend. Maybe it'd be 2 little arm lines on each side, you know, and then, but nobody sees what came before
Okay.
until the end, and then when you open it up, it's can be a weird looking piece of artwork.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's just like it's kind of like piecing things together without, having the full puzzle, I guess.
Yeah, which I think kind of leaves
Like
period.
a game of telephone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I forgot
Yeah.
about that one too. So, hey, I can't believe this hour is flying by like this, but I want to make sure that before we close out, we get one more tune from you. Would you sing one more for us?
Yeah, totally. So this is a song I learned for this occasion, and I'm gonna try not to butcher it. Um, but and it wasn't really. I've been listening to a lot of Odyssey and Oracle by the Zombies, and
Oh yeah.
it wasn't supposed to be on theme with Halloween, but it kind of worked out that way. So yeah. So this is Friends of Mine, and I've changed the ending a little bit to be a little more personal. I'm gonna not mess it up. When we're all in a crowd and you catch her eye and then you both smile, I feel so good inside. When I'm with her, she talks about you, the things that you say, the things that you do. It feels so good to know two people so in love, so in love. They are friends of mine, they are friends of mine, and they've got something it's so hard to find. They are friends of mine, they are friends of mine, and they've got something you don't often find. And she takes your hand, the world stays outside. That's something to see, that's nothing to hide. When I feel bad, when people disappoint me, that's when I need you to help me believe. It feels so good to know two people so in love, so in love. They are friends of mine, they are friends of mine, and they've got something it's so hard to find. They are friends of mine, they are friends of mine, and they've got something it's so hard to find. It feels so good to know two people so in love, so in love. They are friends of mine, they are friends of mine, and they've got something it's so hard to find. They are friends of mine, they are friends of mine, and they've got something you don't often find. Jay and Janet, Jason and Amy, Mike and Kristen, Jim and Carrie, Denise and Steve, Ryan and Sammy, Mike and Gabby, me and Arrow.
Oh, that is
Yay.
wonderful.
I hope I didn't mess it up.
No, you didn't. That was beautiful. I was thinking
Oh.
about Mike and Gabby when you were singing that song because I just found how you had been, how closely connected you were with them and loved them to death too.
Yeah.
What a fabulous tweak at the end. That was a great idea. More of your clever, wonderful ideas. Thank
Oh,
you so much for joining us today, Tierney. It's been a treat to have you.
thanks so much for having me.
And you're closing out the final week of the month of Sundays inside the creative mind. It's been a fun series. And I hope that one of these days you'll participate in one of our See, Hear, Say events.
Oh, yeah.
We've got one coming up on November the 5th. I've got 8 artists lined up from Zoya Zafar to Amy Robbins and Renee Orozqueta. We've got some folks. Ariel Deorneas is going to join us. We've got a couple tuning in from North Carolina, Mama Molasses and Madeline Wofford, the artist, visual artist. And we'll be streaming live right here on the Swamp Sistas Facebook page and YouTube channel at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, November the 5th. So we really hope that everybody will join us for that too, because that's the second part of our 3-point phase fall programming for the Swamp Sistas. And the third thing is a recording that I'm starting now with all my various keyboards. We didn't even get to talk about.
I know. I've been looking at your roads this whole time.
I know, and my Rhodes is over there, and my Whirly's over here. You can't see my Whirly, and then the clavinet's in the back. So it's
don't be surprised if someone breaks into your house in the middle of the night and your keyboards are gone.
Oh, okay. I'm sure.
Or I'll just play them.
They're very heavy. That's the thing. That's the thing about vintage keyboards. You don't have to worry about anybody stealing them because it's too much work.
We took a Rhodes on our old band. We took a Rhodes on tour, and it was like the best and worst idea.
Yeah, ever. Right?
Yeah.
They're heavy. They're quite heavy.
A lot of maintenance.
Hard to imagine those bands, and there are still a couple that do it that take around not only a Rhodes but a Hammond B3 and Leslie too. It's like,
no, thank you.
Power to you, friend. Can I sit in with you? Yeah. It's kind of like you want a friend with a boat, but you don't want a boat.
No, that's why I got a really small bass amp and a really small bass.
Yep. Purse. I call it a purse amp. It should be you wear it across your shoulder.
Exactly.
Wow. Well, so Frankie, thank you for joining us. Liz, Denise, and Rachel, Tom. We're so grateful for you guys. Terry Binion, you were our first guest launching. And E-Turn and Hannah Harbor, and now closing it off. I'm so delighted to have you, Tyranny. So best of luck with your receiver. Keep your receiver open.
Yeah.
And your iPhone handy so you can document those brilliant inspirations when they hit. And I hope everyone has a happy Halloween, and we'll see everybody on November 5th for the Swamp Sistas. See here to stay. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Beth.
Thank you, Tyranny. It feels